Hello, you wonderful humans, and welcome back. It has been a befuddlement of change at the moment. So, Launceston Comedy was unfortunately hacked after I hit 1 million views. Very understandably so. Politics is derisive. Politics makes for enemies and division because at the very fundamental core of what your personal belief is, nobody wants to be challenged. And the politics of managing that is fascinating. Now, as I said, Launceston Comedy and a lot going on at the moment. So that became Launceston Comedy #2. And now I've just reverted to myself online with the posting of comedy material because I'm still very much aiming for the weekly show, which will have people with good computer skills who can manage all of this. And in that, Launceston Comedy is aiming very much to be the weekly show. I've also been working on a stand-up show. So that I do a lot of writing in itself. That has been aside from I've had dealings with Telstra and Bunnings, which were hysterically funny, and I got refunds from Age, which was a little episode in comedy by itself. The TV show, we can have the Erica Betts dances, quite a bit of fun. So I've been on a steep learning curve with politics in Tasmania, coming at it from the birth of the stadium, which was just before Christmas last year, which was such a mind-blowing kick in the guts to a lot of Tasmanians because it was derisive. It was derisive, it was derivative of insanity, but it was a line in the sand. We have a population, and this is my research and homework on Tasmanian politicians, and as you can see, there are different portfolios. And with the current election coming up, I'm just going to call them by their surnames, I think it's easier. Palmer's in the running. These are the portfolios: education, children, youth and disability. Never university education, never anything, it's just little primary school kids, bless. But percentage-wise, if you look to analyse, 99% of the posts are irrelevant shit. This woman has zero qualifications. She's read autocue. And I am so fundamentally disgusted and find abhorrent the notion that education has been maligned to the level of stupidity and idiocracy you see in Tasmania. The horrific denigration where in a populace of less than 600,000, I think we're talking 60,000 in total of students, 10%, I'm not sure. A lot of dates and data and numbers are very fudged by the Liberal government. You have no clue as to the actual truth. But about 60,000 students, so to have 50% illiteracy historically, I don't see that now, having worked in a decade or more in the Tasmanian system. But there's still horrific idiocy and low-level literacy, and yes, a demographic maybe 25%, because I was trying to make the point that the census will be happening in August, I think, the 5-yearly one, and there's only 2021 data, so that's very out of date. with what I've been trying to research. Now, there's some more politicians and the shit they do. This Mr. Ellis insults my intelligence for a grown adult male to put in nah, bloody love hearts and we got the footy oval, block the blockers, nay, we're going to build. It's so fuck-witted and derelict of duty and showing such a low level, like IQ's equal intelligence, but to, again, cause derision and be so blindsided and unaware that billions of dollars solves this state overnight with decent, proper management. Tasmania is fixed, it's healed, we move on. Every homeless person has a home. Every family struggling for shelter has a bloody home. Children are not hungry or dirty or crawling with lice, as I have personally witnessed in the classroom. Hand on my heart, and I will forever be dark on a cretinous auto cue reader who takes $1,000 a day and does jack shit. Our children deserve better. And not just that, we all do, our teachers. You don't see teachers in the Epstein files. I'll just say that. All right, so these dickheads, Vernie, I can't even pronounce that, Janish, he's in Queenstown, so no one gives a jack shit. Like, who the hell cares what happens in Tasmanian politics? And as a general rule, I'm finding that, like, to think beyond the bubble of local ignorance, like there's such a interbred, tight little cloister and cloche of weird little interbred liberal thinkers. Oh my God, they're frightening, the typical liberal voter in Tasmania. Just, ugh. But these dipshits, they get $1,000 a day with no duties. So Mr. Shelton, Petrusma, who's the other fuckwit? Ferguson. Now, come on, I will forever be dark on a bloke who, as a teacher, and I've heard this story from past students from many sources, fucking ran the corridors of the school crying because kids bullied him. Now, fuck off. I'm sorry, I've worked in teaching environments that have literally been hell on earth, looking into the eyes of children who've copped the worst of humanity, who are violent, who've taken human life, whose family, whose parents, who've had, family members die. It's horrific. What do you say to a classroom of kids that one of their little mates' dad died? Was shot in a drug deal. All over the news, everybody knows, everyone knows everything. And they're little tiny innocent humans trying to process that shit. And we give them what? We don't even give them a hot meal every day. And that's what truly broke my soul years ago. I'm talking a decade or more. And thank you for indulging my rant. A hot meal was provided every day for a trial, fucking endless trials like announcements and the bullshit. The difference in these little humans who had lunch boxes that reeked of tobacco and mould and who had no formal structure. And that's the thing, the classroom, the school, the teacher might know the abject horror of a kid's situation and they move mountains to help. But because they're blocked by the fuck-wittedness and the administrational lacks and the I can't even go into the sheer incomprehensibility of having portfolios in education that are not run by people whose passion, whose drive, whose focus, and above all, whose experience. If you bring nothing to the table, if you arrive with an empty head, if you've read liberalist propaganda for decades to indoctrinate the daily dim-witted who need that in their day. And today we've gone to Georgetown, where we can see that young Henry's discovered something quite unusual in the garden, and all the teachers are standing around tittering and everyone's pointing, and yeah, it's a cock and bowls, like he's grown a giant carrot that looks like cock and bowls, but they've turned it upside down. The news, the northeast, southwest, that is dying and gone, and the generation is going and dying, and that is such a good thing. And the young people now coming onto the planet are so savvy, so intelligent, and so passionate. And we do them a disservice of giving them fuckwits, absolute fuckwits running the asylum. It's not fair. We could be, and we have been, and we had been world leaders. Now we're just a piss poor excuse for a joke. When the conference centre, there's some more. When the conference centre was announced and opened, same week, bloody free flights for politicians from Canberra. Come and get pissed in Lonnie. Come and get pissed in Tassie. Tassie is just the wealthy enclave, wealthy fucking destination for a piss up. Every second post, where's that dipshit woman? Oh, there she is. No, have I left out Howlett? I think I have actually. Howlett is the fucking politician, oh no, there it is, for wife beating, racing, women. I've never come across anything more hysterical in my life than when Tony Abbott was the Minister for Women. We don't have a Minister for Men, I don't think. I will not even open that door, because if this is trans supportive, well, it's fucked, isn't it? Prevention of family violence. Now, I could not think of a more hungover, disrespectful, like the latest ad, and I call them that because through the medium of Facebook and Instagram and the current, this is visual media, politics is being communicated. And the cult of personality and the little fucking storylines and the planning and the plotting and the ramping up of the good vibes and we're doing this and yay, our politicians are great and oh my God, Palmer's little fucking, what is it? If I had a year 7 student submit that to me, I'd probably swallow a bit of vomit. That's the most dog shit. Here's some photos and some tinkly shitty music of me oversharing my life as a fucking celebrity in air apostrophes. Do excuse me, coffee. And that is not politics. That is an insult. That is fucking rude. And that just plays on the... Now I'm trying to think of the word. Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Writer, 17th Earl of Oxford, writer of the Shakespearean canon, is a passion of mine and historical research and historical biography of his life. The language, how we're communicating, the words I am using that are bouncing into your noggin or not, depending on your mental health. And a fascinating side note, from COVID. COVID said the world batshit crazy. And then we had 5 years of post-traumatic trauma from that, where we were in a lull and things ticked on. And we're happy they ticked on because we want consistency, we want stability, and the world's been shattered with the Epstein files. So we look to these dickheads, politicians thinking they're going to be some sort of help. And we're discovering, no, we've got this useless cult of celebrity where these fuckwits can now be, like, I'm sorry, this makes me laugh beyond comprehension. See if I can get that in shot properly. Oop. Is this... Oh, what is it? No, I'll have to read them. Ogilvy, Environment, Innovation, Science, Digital Economy, Community, Multicultural Affairs, Arts and Heritage. So we've got instantly innovation and heritage. They're pretty fucking opposite, aren't they? Then we've got the environment, which I want to sob from the depths of my soul that a vacuous, selfie-obsessed digital creator, fuck me. Anyone who does trends or is a digital creator, or I'm laughing because I'm finding my pathway in comedy and I am writing a stand-up show aside from politics. So that's been taking a lot of time as well. And I'm looking at my PhD in comedy, but technology always eludes me, so I've got to get this bit of plastic to join that bit of plastic and this cord, and then that phone doesn't talk to anything. And because I've got a 15, well, I would say getting close to 20-year-old laptop, it doesn't communicate to anything. So it's very frustrating. Especially when we have, oh God, make yourself laugh, a digital, a science, economy. Last election, if you wanted to do a postal vote, you had to go online, they had to post you a piece of paper, you had to fill out the piece of paper, you had to physically post it back, and then you were registered online. Brilliant fucking system for ID superstars. And digital technology. Fuck, you can't even ring the local council. One, because everyone hates them, and two, because they're that dipshitted, they couldn't put someone in front of a computer who could answer a question. They don't jack shit. It's just horrific. The men's shed makes me laugh out the other side of my asshole. That's a government-funded facility, open to women now, apparently. But fuck me if you can ring anywhere, anyone knows anything. Even one bloke argued with me and told me it wasn't government-funded. Any subsidiary, that's a word you can spell backwards when you're drunk. Any subsidiary of government spending that facilitates helping the community is done through the base level, cheapest fucking charity they can find. The Liberal politicians are cunts. There's no other way to put it. Poverty used to have its value because before digital technology and, advanced infrastructure and an acceleration of wealth, it's the product of no more than talking. The wealth had a place. They built shit. Now we can build robots, and robots can build robots, and we don't need them. So the poor had their place. The wealthy needed them. Now the wealthy just cannibalize each other. They have no need for the poor. Why is there a need for the poor? We're just a dirty inconvenience, If you are struggling and need community support, you're the anathema of the Liberal mantra of greed before need. The Liberals are all about greed before need. Consumerism, capitalism, business, tags. Oh my God, the lush, fat pig rolling in paper money flying. We're making that money fly through the air. What's the American thing they do? Raining money. That visual concept, that's where the Liberals sit when they have an idea of money. Their reality, their birth, when you're born in a private school, when you have a hot meal every day, when you're surrounded by beautiful, nice things and nice people. And I was going to say anathema, but I was also meaning a lack of empathy develops. The story of Buddha too much of a nice thing. You've got to go out and see the yin and yang of it. And a detachment, a genuine detachment that on Tasmanian soil tonight, there will be children who are in a car escaping a violent father with a horrifically abused mother who's so mentally unwell. She has her child in a car for safety overnight because, one, there's no recourse for her to find help. And that's why this prevention for the violence against women, again, makes me bile in my fucking throat. You take 1/10 of that billions, and it's an open-ended check, the stadium. The fuckwitted fucking concept of giving people who spent billions on a boat debacle, billions, like, we don't know exact figures, the fudging. I think there's such, and it's a reflection, it's a funny thing. It goes around in a circle. The reflection of the stupidity. Oh, as I say that, look what karma does for me. See, I can't manage. Oh, bloody technology. All right, I'll pause here, but what a work in progress. Need some wrinkle cream stat before I get on stage. I think I'll just sit in a bucket of it. Right. Oh, there we go. I've lost my train of thought. The postulating where Tasmanian politics sits. So we talked about the poor being an unnecessary commodity and they're flogged off to the cheapest bloody charity. And unfortunately, when there's cartels, there's a cartel of charities, and bless them, they've got their imaginary friend, gets them through the day, and they do good shit. For the most part, like, fuck the fucking Catholic Church and what they've done to children is beyond comprehension. World's largest tax-free organisation. Appalling. Followed by the AFL, another tax-free organisation. Had no idea. No wonder it's a mindless cult. And to see a political leader blackmailed, dim-witted. Oh yeah, we'll do footy because if we don't have the Oval, we can't have a footy. Have a stadium better than Oval. And then, bless us, we have the fuckwit tell us it's a boutique. Oh, fucking backtrack, it's a boutique. It's got a roof, so it's a boutique. So only the rich bastards. And no disrespect, I've lived in Hobart. It's a pimple on the arse end of the universe. Who, apart from someone local with money, and Melbourne, perhaps, or Sydney, or fucking drop kicks with their football money, is going to fly to a stadium with you go into the woods and that's what's derisive. No economic sense. If billions of dollars can be spent now, it can be spent to fix the worst of everything, not to facilitate bloody white rich men's wet dreams. It's bloody disgusting. You know that song, New York? New York, concrete jungle, what dreams are made from, what dreams are made of. It's not, it's where dreams are made of, not wet dreams. Thought it was a pretty fucking out there song for the time. So a lot of comedy to do. Let's have a listen, look at my little plethora. So I will keep endeavouring to get technology being my friend and hit multi-platforms. The goal with comedy is to make us laugh. The goal with political comedy is to make us laugh at the absurdity of what now. And I, with my stand-up, the shows, I always preface and facilitate by saying, we need to recognise we're all 4.5 billion years of compost. We're all shit. You're shit, I'm shit, the phone's shit, you're the boo-boo fucking viral trendy shit. We are literally walking, talking, breathing compost. we're born between piss and shit. We should be acknowledging our similarities and our humility, not thinking anything makes us above the pile of shit that we are, except for this, our opposable thumb. And look what damage we've done to the planet. And then we have this arse-witted fucking collection of politicians who, and a environment minister. I can't even draw breath that we're human night soil. And if you look at the history of Hobart, industrial wasteland is there for a reason. It was originally a despot premier. It was a depositing place for night soil for human waste. Human shit was literally brought in carts by horse in ceramics and tins. This is before plastic, and dumped there, and dumped nightly, and put on boats and driven or sailed God knows where. Now we have toxic, shitty wasteland that's the cheapest real estate, with ocean views. You know, the rich prick cunts, and what are the bets that when Rockcliffe walks, won't be for family reasons, he'll just hang it into a bitter bloody end. He'll go into some aspect of AFL management, or just sit shining his fucking potatoes. Who knows? That's the thing with politicians that the stupid don't understand. They are not your best friend. They are not a doorway to a pristine nuclear family. That narrative they sell, that bovine, utter fucking bullshit, is reflected in their families. They sell their families online. They don't give a shit about their kids. One politician's got their sick kid online. They don't give a shit about their children's safety, their future. They're a product of a narrative that, like, we support a happy family. We're good. We're all about families. When the reality is, and you tell me different, any politician with a sick fucking kid is not sitting in the LGH emergency ward for hours dealing with the fucking horror there and the threat to human life. They've got their private doctors. They're all about the money, the greed. You have an education minister who rocks up every day with zero qualifications in education. So she can sit and smile and nod till the fucking cows come home and do that professionally with a nice little reassuring sing-song voice and overshare photos of herself and her whole fucking narrative as a celebrity and public figure. For what fucking purpose? At the end of the day, teachers are struggling and striking and have no confidence motion in her as you would do. Children are cold and hungry. Fucking circle back to that story about school I was at with the food program. Despite the human horrors, and more so what the Epstein files revealed, what I have seen and worked with as a teacher and made my preference, you know, the kids that nobody wants. A hot meal every day after 2 weeks, looking at a little girl, grade 3 I think. No darling, no more food. We talked about this. I'd prepared, I'd brought in a lot of snacks. I always bring in food. All teachers have food. They fucking... what teachers do is above and beyond. It just shits me that we have a moron in charge. That broke my soul. And the change, the learning, the settled, the lovely socialising, the laughter. When you work in classrooms of poverty and trauma and hunger and dirt and filth and homelessness and children dealing with that, laughter is the most precious fucking thing. What else can you give them to get them through their day? You know? You send them back to a filthy fucking caravan with mould. And that's the best we can do for Tasmanian children. Not if I can use comedy and my beautiful singing voice. Fa la 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 la. So there's comedy. There's the stand-up comedy. There's my own looking at a mental health documentary and gathering information on the mental health being the worst in Australia and Tasmania. And how did we get to this point? Well, I know my take on it, and I will always preface anything I say by one, I have an incredibly high IQ, dysfunctionally high, I've been told, but a high IQ. Two, I always look to world experts. What my IQ, what intelligence leads you to do is not shit and sit in it, not sit in the mire of your filth and be pig ignorant and perpetuate nothing. You look to world experts, you look to acceleration. A classroom is the promotion of intelligence. We're literally born of shit, between piss and shit, dribbling shit. Fuck the dribbling wet mess we are for the first 6 months of our existence. We're not anything more than the nurture. We come with our inherent genetic makeup, and that is wonderful flukes of nature. We don't nurture that enough. And again, back to the hot meal thing. If we want optimum intelligence, we want the best food, the best nutrition. Tasmania has world-class, best, clean, wonderful food, and yet our tourism minister opens a Hungry Jack's at the airport, opens a McDonald's next to a school. Like, you can literally fucking stand in the school playground and look at a McDonald's. Like, the insanity. But that's a good thing. That's jobs for Tasmania, jobs for growth, jobs. Because that's the best that can be offered, not an acceleration of intellect, not a caring for the planet. And back to, this dipshit and the environmental portfolio of the stadium. We take the cheapest real estate that has lovely ocean view corporate boxes for rich cunts. And I will personally, and I've said this from the day it was announced, never set foot down there once they break soil. To physically cart it through the streets is a cheap, nasty route alternative. You don't cart toxicity through the streets. That's a mindset of fucking ignorance. You don't dig into it. And the incompetency, and that's the thing, the precedence, what has been said by the... here's the people you speak to about shit to do with Telstra. Fucking God, they're useless. And the Telstra store sends you on little adventures. Sorry, that's off topic. But, now I've forgotten. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't get off topic. I guess I have been chatting a bit. The state of politics in Tasmania and how fucked it is. The education standards and the denigration of education and the cultural norms that you've got a white, working class, agricultural, and very hierarchical. I think people forget when Tassie was established, 1830s, as a white colony of England, it brought everything English. Ouse, Exeter, all the Lindisfarne, all the Vikings were murdered. All the wonderful European heritage was literally mirror imaged and instilled here. So it's very backwards, very locked into the 1950s, and very unintelligent. And that's the saddest thing, the blind leading the blind. You can't explain 10 years of liberal, dopey government that has run Tasmania into the ground, that has produced a state of play Footy pun. Fuck, I'm good at comedy. Where there is actually a logical somehow belief in a human soul that we can spend billions of dollars building on literal human shit. Oh, making that point I put out there from day one, that place is so bad, physically unsafe. Not just the moral vibes, not just who would morally with a conscience go into that building knowing while you're sitting with a roof over your head comfortably screaming at millionaires running around, children are hungry and homeless in Tassie, you know, fucking we're killing the water with fish, we're torturing animals in greyhound racing, we're backwards and dopey and inbred, and we're the laughing stock of the world. You know, like, if, and you've got to forget, people don't think beyond the end of their nose. And that's where the only realm of, and this is interesting, and this is the PhD research I'll ask people, what is politics to you? What is the politics of comedy? But the first point of call is most people don't think beyond the tip of their nose. And when they do, it's a reflective self-obsession. You want the reinforcement of your political values. What is your schema? What is your morals? Who defines you? You do. I'm a liberal. I vote liberal. I go footy. I watch the news. I fucking watch the news. Like, you have your little baseline shit, your internal stuff. And I will forever denigrate that because willful ignorance is a choice. You choose to be stupid daily. And if you don't choose to step out of that pattern and look to be better, act better, treat the planet better, on what realm of logic? As an environmentalist, as a humanist, as a moralist, as any type of decent, functioning fucking human walking the planet, do you wake up to the news and think, yeah, let's give these cretins, these fuck-witted cretins who spent $500 million at least on not recognising that a boat needs a dock, and that's where the international laughter comes in. You know, God, we've made some money for Scotland, is it? Where else are the boats moored? Our number one pivotal point of tourist interaction. You know, God, I can remember the boats back in the 70s. Well, no, the 80s. No, it wasn't 70s. My apologies. Very early 80s. I think I first came here. You fucking had sleeping bags on the tables. It was great. It was a shitfest. You know, now it's get the rich cunts over with their shiny caravans, and that's great. And the grey nomads are great. Just come and suck Tassie dry. You know, we're just a joke. We're just a laughing stock. Drive over, camp everywhere, take what you can for free. And the same with the rich. Come over, go to our pubs, drink the piss, and that's all we offer you. And we breed children stupid. The toilet cleaners. And I'm not denigrating. The highest fucking IQ in Australia at one point was a Garbo, bless him. You just give no opportunities. You have a trapped system of exclusivity and narcissism. Oh, don't start me on the fucking Bob's mate knows Trevor's uncle cousin's job. Teachers are employed through Facebook posts. I repeat that. Teachers are employed through Facebook posts. There's no clarity of process, no equity, no centralised employment system. When I first arrived and was looking for work, I thought to go to the Anti-Discrimination Board and go, what the genuine fuck? There's no jobs advertised. How does anyone get a job here? Ho, 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 ho. It's principal discretionary. What the fuck's that mean? Bob's dickhead's cousin fucking employs and the stories to tell. And that's why I'm so vehement, and what has broken my soul so much about the state of education in Tasmania, in that probably 90% of my teaching time down here has been daily relief, in that I could not get full-time or fixed term. Back to that, you can't, you through Bob's uncle, there's no. And also there's mainland bias. You can't walk into a leadership role. How dare you come from a principal class in Melbourne, have all the experience, have, in my case, written international baccalaureate curriculum for drama, my passion, comedy. How can you not be of standing elsewhere, come to Tasmania and not be fucking, or you fucking up yourself, can't you? Fucking, yeah. Please watch Idiocracy. The movie is just Tasmanian gold. And that's the mindset you encounter with stupidity. Stupid people do not like to be educated. Full stop. They like to stay stupid. And that's the hallmark. And John Cleese had a wonderful comment, and I've got it on a clip somewhere, I think on the original channel, that stupid people don't know they're being offended. Which is true. You have an inkling, you have a modicum of intelligence if you recognise something's threatening you. And that's back to politics. So that's where political discourse, what we allow, what we tolerate. Like there's a wonderful comedian promoting lack of money from gas and coal, and you look at Liechtenstein, so for example, and that's a place I sometimes refer to because they have the best of everything, and they have exactly the same population, and that's what it comes down to, the division of wealth to the population. Unbelievable. Healthcare, so I don't want to misquote if they're free public transport, but I know somewhere does. But their standard of living, they provide housing. Every single person has a home. If you're in that state of not having a home, and you refuse a home, well, they say, fuck off, you can't live in this country. It's wonderful thinking. Like everyone has a fucking home. Finland, I think, solved homelessness pretty much overnight. Here's a fucking home. It blows your brain that we can spend billions of dollars building on sinking, desecrated, bad vibes. That place will not be safe. There will be so many health outcomes. I won't see it in my lifetime, but people's lungs will be destroyed, the rancicity, the cheap build. It's a fucking Temu build. Every corner will be cut. Nothing will be safe or to standard. And being at the arse end of the world, the fucking multi-billion-dollar rip-off and mishandling and everyone getting a cut of the piddling little bolts that are needed, and the cost of transport and petrol. If that hasn't put building costs through the roof, there's no lynch point is there a sane or logical reason to say, yay, the stadium's a fucking good thing. To use the backwards rhetoric, the mind-numbing thinking, oh, we've got a handful of gold. We're not going to build a house with the handful of gold. We'll just stick it in the hole in the roof. It's like you can't have people, and this is the line in the sand. This has been society, for the last 126 years or something, since the fucking settlement of Tasmania by white people. You can't have a society now where people get $1,000 a day for doing jack shit while a Tasmanian child, sits with lice in their hair, fucking cold and hungry and dirty, and oh yeah, that's Bevan. Bevan, yeah, we know his family. You know, they're the Moorcrofts. Yeah, everyone fucking knows them. They're fucking mentor. Yeah, you don't deal with them. Like this little tiny village shitty mindset, and the sad demographic of a white, middle-class, inbred fuckwittery of a society that perpetuates such constant embarrassment. If you're a Liberal voter, mercy on your soul. How can you promote and perpetuate and think it's a good thing? Oh, but it's that backwards step. Yeah, we spend the money. Jobs in the economy. Jobs in the economy. Yeah, they don't benefit. Oh my gosh, backwards thinking. What benefits, what creates the jobs in the economy is you give every single human being a home and a warm belly of food, and you give them security, and you give them the opportunity to be a fucking genius every single one of us is on this planet. The plumber, the electrician, the carpenter, the fucking interstellar scientific polar bloody scientific, must be getting tired, research analyst, and find the best source of natural power on Earth. We've got the sun. We could have the whole planet solar power. Why don't we? Because we've got fuckwits running the place. Well, on my very long and ranty note, I will thank you so much for listening. But I hope this provides a little clarity as to my sense of self trying to swim the quagmire of my own inner unclarity. Good use of a prefix. Unclarity, because I've gone from walking away from teaching, which in part has always been planned to retire into comedy, but the heartbreak of seeing education denigrate to the point where it's beyond stupidity, it's backwards. Children's safety are at risk. You know what the Epstein files have shown us globally. To still put little babies' faces online and their fucking school logos, to be that pig ignorant and fucking stupid on all levels, to have children sit in classrooms hungry and cold and homeless and offer a pissy breakfast club, which is white, frozen, stale toast and a bit of Milo. It's pitiful. So leaving that quagmire, walking into comedy, and the stadium gave birth to me as a political comedian. I cannot escape it. I studied, I think I maybe got through a term of political science at UTAS. I spent a lot of time in the bar there drinking and smoking. Oh my God, that was a great year. That's where you learn the true intelligence and humanity of the world. I think you sit in the university bar. And my only recollections of studying political science was the orange ruffy. Sorry, I am getting tired with the mispronunciation. The orange ruffy fish was discovered. And there was the political debate. The talk was, well, they dredged this fish off the bottom of the ocean and people were shoving it in their gobs and cooking it. Now, I'm a plant-based person, vegetarian. I was a vegetarian. I would not call myself a vegan, and that comes into the comedy of how fuck-witted vegans are. But I'm plant-based. I don't cut up living things and shove them in my mouth. Intellect dictates that's base level. That's stupid. You don't need to do that. It's morally incorrect. It's nutritionally incorrect. And personally, just as a human, I couldn't eat Bambi. Like, I can't chop up fucking Skippy and shove it in my mouth. I can't understand people. They can have dogs, but they can sit down and eat a fucking cow. So in the quagmire of self-discovery and retiring and being given myself the grace to do what's my passion now. So walking away from teaching in utter disgust, I would never work under Joe Palmer. The bile in my throat. And that's sad because so many good, intelligent, highly qualified, super professional people, and how relief teachers are taught. When I was at Newstead College, no one was in charge of curriculum in the upper echelons of education. I still don't think anyone is. I doubt the dipshit woman could spell it. But no one was in charge of curriculum. No one was in charge of relief teaching. No one buck-stopped with no one for anything. So as a consequence, no duty of care, no cohesiveness, no looking at, we have world leaders in education. Why are we not following their examples? Why are we still in a shitty, dirty puddle on an ocean foreshore where we want to dig up human filth and build a stadium, a bubble to corporate greed and a cult of screaming at millionaires? Like, yeah, footy's great. I love a good primeval scream, and I will never denigrate a good footy match. Like, I've seen the best game of my life in Hobart. But that is not warrant billions of dollars when we have the worst healthcare, the worst education. And this mantra is irrelevant to the Liberals because they're wealthy. They're wealthy cunts. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them. They go to their private schools. They go to their newly built $44 million car parks. So we have the worst hospital in Australia. People are dying in the emergency ward. Don't travel to Launceston. You'll fucking die if you go to the hospital. And yet a $44 million car park's needed. And in the same breath, the government gave $500,000 to food banks because we're fucking wonderful. The hypocrisy, the satire, the jokes. But the $44 million car park also coincides with a new hospital build, a private one. So all the rich cunts get to use our free public one. And that's the thing, it's the voiceless, it's the poor bastards who have to rely on a government. They can't go off grid. They can't necessarily, through disability or mental health issues or poverty or welfare or again lack of intellect, all the things that go to make someone's life shit, that we rely on communally as humanity and we make a government our focus to manage that, has gone to shit, has so spectacularly gone to shit with the stadium. You can't even inhale. It's a funny moment in time. It is the shit show. And the documentary is very much sitting by the wayside because I think at the moment it's just venting. People are just, when I got the 1 million views, which I think probably dropped down to 750 with bots because the number went backwards, and I was asking, how does that work? Like, I'm someone who Googles emojis. I thought like balls of fire meant I was going to burn in hell. Apparently it's a compliment. Don't know where the direction of that is going. So on a very quiet and thank you note, you have been wonderful to listen. So what is political comedy and what is the politics of comedy? And they're two very separate things dependent on the type of comedy. I will laugh at the darkest black humour. I love black comedy. I love slapstick is inherent. It's a physical thing, like laughing at farting. That is such an inane, I think as cave people, perhaps sitting around, we laughed at each other falling over the rocks and fire. like there wasn't anything else to laugh at. But obviously, intellectual parody discourse, a narrative that challenges you, storytelling. Billy Connolly, one of my personal favourite comedians in his narrative of storytelling. And political comedy is the telling of stories through the fuckwittedness of the politicians and their behaviour. But taking a step back, it's a narrative on society and where we are and what we want and who we are and what we want to do. And if we exist on this planet in our own little bubble of bliss, that is exactly what we're all aiming for, and that is a wonderful thing. But not at the cost of others. Not a billion, and I don't say $1 billion, a billions of dollars stadium to bankrupt Tasmania, to pour unlimited wealth into a select, corrupt, nepotistic group of humans who have, and you look at Launceston, that's been a financially raped city for a very long time. The amount of empty buildings that were allowed to sit, and you see England, recently a council there made it law. You take the law into your own hands. That's what a fucking council does. You don't have empty, filthy fucking shops for people to look at that are tax write-offs for rich pricks. You don't make a humanity that's depressing and dirty. And that's what Launceston is. You walk the streets, they're filthy. Bus stops are filthy. You know, there's no consideration for even tourists anymore. You just arrive in your rich car. Nobody gives a shit about public transport when you have an environment, a supposedly environmental standing internationally that Tassie's green. Fuck it, it's beyond a joke. It's a dirty, filthy, lazy place full of fat, lazy people. Dopey, fat, lazy people. Oh dear, comedy fodder. So we have a personal relationship to comedy and the politics of comedy and what is political comedy. And in that we find solace or captivity. We find the good intertwined. We're trying to escape maybe our personal tragedies, looking for philosophy. And the comedian is the philosopher. The stand-up comedian, as I take it, is the conduit. I'm here to narrate the bullshit I'm saying, the laughter, the sheer hysterical comedy of an education minister on the eve of World Education Day, which I don't think's ever been celebrated in any school in Tasmania ever. Why be part of that global village? Why be even part of recognising education is what you do? Oh, I can't stop laughing. I don't want to cough. All right, maybe on that note, I've nearly hit an hour. I will wish you wonderful humans and adieu. It is hard talking for an hour and probably even harder than listening, but this helps me to correlate, put in place, give purpose to Launceston comedy and Tasmanian political comedy. We have to fight for the right to laugh at these folks. In fact, I'm going to put that to a bit of akadaka. You've got to fight right to a party. No, that wasn't akadaka. See, I'm not very good at music. All right, you wonderful humans, have wonderful lives, and let's share the comedy. Goodbye.